Hi everyone at PS221Q. Let's get into this week's lesson. This week we're on to lesson 13, while loops in Farmer. We will talk about while loops later on, but first we will start with traditional loops. So here, repeat loop 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, move forward, and then remove from the pile here. Let's take a look at the next one. So we have a pile here, and we need to get to the pile, and we're going to move forward, and we have to fill that pile 6 times. Okay, we're going to skip around. We're going to move to number 5. Okay, actually, I'll do number 3 real quick for you. I don't want to leave you empty-handed. So you should know how to just move forward, and then we have 10 of them here. So repeat loop 10 times, and you're going to remove. Okay, because you got to remove 10 of them 10 times. Okay, let's skip to number 6. You could watch the video on your own. Okay, so now we have a pile here. Now here's what's interesting. You don't know how many are in here, okay? But with the computer program, with our blocks, with our code, we could figure this out. So we're going to move forward, and you're going to say, while there is a pile. So that's a while loop. Instead of saying, repeat 7 times, you can say, while there is a pile. Keep doing this while you can. So while there is a pile, you're going to remove. Now when we look at number 7, there's a mix. There's a question mark, there's 5, so there's a question mark. So you don't know. Some of them have 5, some of them have a question mark. But guess what? You can use the same program, the same code, the same algorithm, the list of steps. You move forward, and then you say, while there is a pile, you could remove 1. Okay, so let's take a look. That worked 1 time. Okay, so we'll try 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So it doesn't matter if you don't know the exact number, because the computer program says while there is a pile, remove. So this while loop is a special loop that you do it while the condition is still going on. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. This looks a little tricky, but the while loop is going to help us here. Okay, so let's just start one at a time. The first thing we do is we would move forward, and we would say, while there is a hole, you fill it. Okay, there's a hole here, you got to fill it. Now what do you do next? You turn to the right. Then what are you going to do? You're going to move forward. Same thing again. Wow, there's a hole. Fill it. Now what do you do next? You turn to the left, and then you're going to move forward, and then you're going to say, wow, there is a hole. Fill it. Now here's the part where you got to do some analyzing your code. So they don't want you to use more than 10 blocks. This is the same. Move forward, while there is a hole, fill it. And you notice it's a pattern. So let's just run it up to here. While there's a hole, fill it. The next thing you do, you turn right, and then you move forward, then you'd fill it. Then you turn left, you move forward. While there's a hole, you would fill it. Then you turn right, and you move forward. So we're getting this pattern here. Okay? Does everybody see it's a pattern here? We're doing it over and over again. So let's just repeat it again 3 times. This is a nested loop. Okay, so you repeat everything 3 times. Okay, let's look at this one. Now we have while the path is ahead. This is a great loop for us because rather than saying, repeat loop, go forward 4 times, we could just say while the path is ahead, go forward. Okay, so let's take a look at this. While the path is ahead, go forward. Now what are you going to do? When you get here, you have to fill the hole. So you're going to fill the hole. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn to the left. Let's take a look at this. Okay, while the path is ahead, go forward. So rather than having to count, go forward 4 times, you just say while the path is ahead. Then you could fill the hole and you turn to the left. Now what are we going to do? We're going to do this again. We're going to go while the path is ahead, move forward, and then we're going to say fill the hole, and then we're going to say turn to the left. Now guess what? This is the same exact thing. It's exactly the same. So what we could do is we could repeat that. Okay, so let's try that 2 times. See what happens if we do it 2 times. While the path's ahead, move forward, fill the hole, turn to the left. While the path's ahead, move forward, fill the hole, turn to the left. Now we could do this a 3rd time. While the path is ahead, move forward, fill the hole, turn to the left, and then we'll do it a 4th time as well. So do this 4 times, and we'll be good to go. Number 10 is a challenge puzzle. You could skip it if you'd like. I'll show you how to do it, but you don't have to do this. So what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to move forward. Okay, you're going to move forward, and then you're going to say, if there is a hole, you're going to fill it. And then what are you going to do? You're going to say you're going to turn to the right, and you're going to go, if the path is ahead. Now, you're going to say, while the path is ahead, move forward. Now, here's what else you could do. Rather than using this again, move forward, and while the path is ahead, move forward, you could just use this up here. You could say, while the path is ahead, move forward. Okay, because that makes it simple for us. And you could say, while there's a hole, fill it. Okay, so it's going to say, if you can go forward, while the path's ahead, go forward. If there's a hole, fill it, and then turn to the right. So let's take a look how that goes. Now we're going to do another while the path is ahead. While the path is ahead, move forward. And then we're going to say again, while there is a hole, fill it. And then we're going to say turn to the right. So let's take a look how that goes. Now notice we're going over the blocks here, so we'll fix that. While the path's ahead, move forward. While there's a hole, fill it. Turn to the right. While the path's ahead, move forward. While there's a hole, fill it, and turn to the right. So here's what I want everyone to see. This is exactly the same. This is exactly the same. So because it's identical, you could do a nested loop. Loop inside the loop. So let's just try this. Let's see if we do it 3 times what happens. So our first time we run it, turn to the right, that's 1. We do it our second time. Okay, that's our second time. We do it our 3rd time here. And then this would be our 4th time, 5, 6 times. So 6 times gets us through. That's a tricky one. You have a nested loop and you have while loops. Let's take a look at that one. Okay, and this is our 5th time, and then finally our last time. Okay, let's take a look at number 11. Okay, so we have to do a this is similar to the one we just did. We're going to say while the path is ahead. What are you going to do while the path's ahead? You're going to move forward. Then you're going to say while there is a, what else could you do? While there is a hole, they don't have this anymore. They used to have while there's a hole. They don't have that anymore. They took it away from us. So now you just have to say fill because they took that. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This one they want us to remove. I'm sorry. So they're going to say they want us to go forward. And then what they want us to do is we're going to turn to the left. And then we have to remove the, and you could remove it first if you'd like. So let's take a look. So this one we're going to remove. We turn to the left. Then we're going to do it again. Forward, while the path's ahead, move forward, remove, turn to the left. And then we'll do it another time. So notice this is going to be the same exact thing. We're going to go while the path's ahead, move forward. Then we're going to remove one. Then we're going to turn to the left. Now notice we're going over the blocks. They don't want us to do this. And this is exactly the same. So we could just use a nested loop. We repeat to repeat. So that'll be 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Let's take a look at the last two, number 12 and 13. So this one here, we're going to use the while the path's ahead. While the path's ahead, you always move forward, right? And then you're going to say while there's a pile. So while the path's ahead, move forward. While there's a pile, you're going to remove one. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn to the left. So let's take a look at this. Again, you could say while the path is ahead, you're going to move forward, then you're going to turn to the right. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so now we're going to do while the path is ahead, we're going to move forward. While there's a pile, remove it. Then we're going to turn to the left. While the path's ahead, move forward, turn to the right. Then while the path's ahead, move forward. While there's a pile, remove it, turn to the left. While the path is ahead, move forward, and then turn to the right. So this is the same thing over and over again. So you could just repeat this. So we just repeat this. Let's try this 3 times. So this is a nested loop. We have a nested loop and we also have a while loop. We have our while loop and this is the whole thing together is a nested loop, the loop inside the loop. And finally for number 13, this is a question here. So you're just going to pick which one you think and they'll give you the answer. So this is lesson 13, while loops in Farmer. You see a while loop makes it easier for us because we don't have to count how many spaces, how many blocks. We could just tell the computer, while the path is ahead or while there's a pile. And it makes it very simple for us to run our code.